Bonjour, welcome to Citizens Education Center's radio Zoom classes. This is MBF3C, grade 11 college math, and I am the teacher Bronwyn Slate. If you'd like to participate live, today you can call the Wahsa studio at 1-800-465-7144 or 737-4017. You can listen on the radio at 91.9 FM and also on the television at Bell Express View channel 972. You're always welcome to join me live through the Zoom link, which is available both from me, your teacher, and also your DEC. Our classes are scheduled Monday through Thursday from 10 until 11 in the morning, and we are in our 5th week of our 9-week course. At this point, you should be submitting work for marking. So a reminder that the support questions, the ones with the pencil icons, are not for marking. You decide which ones and how many to do. If you understand a concept, feel free to skip the questions. You don't have to do them just because they're there. Do what's best for you. The answers are in the back, so check your work to make sure you're on the right track. The key questions, however, are the mark questions. So these ones you need to do all of them. Show all of your work, your steps, and your thinking. This way I can know what it is that you know, and I can help you if you are making errors. So how do you submit your work for marking? Well, there's 3 methods. The first is to scan your work and send electronically. If you have a device, you can scan your completed work using the Notes app. If you have an Apple device and an Android device, use the Google Drive app. These are fairly straightforward point and click scanning options. But if you need some support, then check out my tech tutorials on my YouTube channel that walk you through how to do these scan functions step by step. Then you can send them to me through email to studentwork@nnec.on.ca and CC it to bronwyn.slate@nnec.on.ca. Or you can also send it to me through Facebook Messenger, where my name is B. Slate Wahsa. The second method is to drop it off in Sioux Lookout. We have a outdoor mailbox at our location 74 Front Street. We're the bright red building next to the post office, and we have a small white mailbox you can put your work in at any time next to our side entrance. The third method is to hand your work into your DEC. Your DEC can either send your work through the Express or fax it to 807-737-1732 or toll-free fax to 1-800-463-7852. Students can also send their work in through fax. Just let us know that it's coming so that we are prepared and it doesn't get lost in the shuttle. If you'd like to connect with me through social media, both my Facebook and my YouTube channel are under the name B. Slate Wahsa. So you can friend me on Facebook or subscribe to my channel, and then you'll get notifications every time I upload one of our videos. All of our radio Zoom videos are recorded and shortly after broadcasting, I post them to YouTube. Also, there are short videos that explain common errors and confusing concepts on my YouTube channel. So that's a really good place to go and check out if you are struggling with something. Math is a really visual subject, so I strongly encourage you to access the videos. Either joining me live, and whether or not you talk to me, you don't have to, but just watching is a really good option. Or watching the YouTube videos on replay, also a great option. If those don't work for you, let me know, and I'm happy to send you a copy of the recordings so you still get the full experience. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out and contact me. My email address is bronwyn.slate@nnec.on.ca. My Facebook is B. Slate Wahsa. You can call me at 807-737-1488, extension 2209, or toll free 1-800-667-3703. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., though I teach from 9 until 11, so that is not a good time to try to get a hold of me. Today's lesson is lesson number 10. So we are wrapping up unit 2 today, and it is buying new and used vehicles and looking at vehicle costs. So our learning goals are that at the end of this lesson, you will know all the costs involved in buying a new vehicle. You'll understand the advantages and disadvantages of buying new and used vehicles. You'll be able to explain the fixed and variable costs of owning and operating a vehicle. So the success criteria are that you can calculate all the costs involved in buying a new vehicle, and you can calculate the fixed and variable costs of owning and operating any vehicle. When we'll use this in real life? Well, besides being able to just use a vehicle, we are learning how to make decisions and justify them. So being able to know what is best for you is really important, and being able to justify that is really important so that you can discuss things with people in your life and you are confident in your reasoning behind the decisions you're making. But first, let's activate your brain with some mental math. I don't believe in mad math minutes. I think they cause stress and anxiety in students and do not really set them up for success. So instead, we work on developing strategies that you can use in various situations and that are based on your comfort and friendly numbers that are for you. Our example today is 137 take away 58, and we are using the strategy of constant difference. Now I'm having some tech issues today, so I am using a mouse. I don't have a pen that I'm using, so I'm a little bit, my skills are not great for writing with a mouse, so my bad, my apologies. With constant difference, I like to think about this on a number line, because what you're thinking is that the difference between these two numbers is the same as two numbers that are really close to this. So I'm gonna write down my numbers, so 137. And so instead of us taking away 58, we're going to look to see how much space is between 137 and 58. And that's another way of thinking of subtraction. We can think about taking it away, or we can think about what is the difference, how much space is between the two. And so we're wondering, in this strategy, you'll get the same answer either way. But in this strategy, we're thinking about, well, what is the space between these two numbers? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, well, if I shift this difference up to a friendly number, I'm going to shift this to 60. So I'm going to shift it up to here. And if I've shifted up to here, then I'm going to shift it up to over here to get to 139. And now that distance is still the same. Now, I might not be happy with that. That might not tell me, okay, well, great, I have 139 take away 60. I still don't know what that's going to be. That isn't really helpful for me yet. So maybe I think, okay, well, maybe I'm going to shift it up another 40. Let's get another color. Let's do purple. So I'm going to shift it up some more. Why not? I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to shift it up another 40, and that gets me to 100. And if I shift, so that means that I'm shifting this whole difference up 40. And yes, I've run out of room on my line, but it's all good. So if I shift from 139 up 40, and now I'm at 179 on my number line. So now I can look and say, okay, well, the difference between 179 and 100 is 79. That is, I could figure it out pretty easily. Well, that means the difference between, because it's the same difference, I shifted them the same amount, right? So that means the difference between 60 and 139 is 79. That is the same, because my distance didn't change, just my positions changed. So that means that between 58 and 137 is still 79. That distance hasn't changed. So 137 take away 58 is 79. And that constant difference of shifting your numbers to friendlier spaces to compare can be a really useful strategy. All right, mine's on. What prior learning do we need to know for today? So some skills that we need for calculating vehicle costs. We need to remember HST is 13% in Ontario. So to figure out your HST, you can either do your price of something times 0.13, and that's going to give you only the tax, or you can do the price of something times 1.13, and that's going to give you the total cost. It's going to be price plus the tax to give you that full amount. So both of these ways are great if you just want to make sure that you know which way you're using, depending on the situation of what might be best for you. So let's look at an example. How much do you actually pay for a box of diapers that are $34.95? So first we could just calculate the tax. So we multiply it by 0.13 and we get $4.54 is the tax. So then we add it to $34.95 and we get a total of $39.49. The second method is to multiply 34.95 times 1.13, and then you get 39.49 right away. So you see, you get the same amount either way. They're just different ways to do the same thing. If you are calculating discounts, you do your price times your discount as a decimal, and that's how much you need to subtract. Or you can do your price times 1, take away the discount as a decimal, and that'll tell you your new price. So again, let's do an example. But first, remember that your discounts get calculated first, and then the tax is added. So always, whenever if you're talking about something that has a discount, always talk your discount you want to calculate first, and then you want to put your tax on after. So if we're looking at the example again of our diapers that are $34.95, and we're actually getting 20% off of this before taxes, how much does it cost? So to calculate the discount, we can say, okay, we can do 34.95 times 0.2 because 20% is 0.2, and that's $6.99. So that's what our discount is. We're taking that amount off. So our new price is $34.95, take away 6.99, which is $27.96 is your new price before taxes. Or the second method is you can do 34.95 times 1, take away 0.2. So 34.95 times 0.8, and that equals 27.96. So it's the same way either way, but it's just that one way you're going to subtract and one way you're doing the subtraction first. You might just do it mentally. You might not write it down, and that's okay. You might just say, okay, well, if 20% is a discount, I know that 80% is going to be left over the cost, and you can figure it out that way. Again, both these two methods work. For both of these ways, you can just do what works best for you. All right, active learning. What are we learning about today? So cars are all around us. Buying new cars, used cars, trucks, vans, junkers, shiny new things. There are lots of options. Understanding this is really important because you want to figure out what is best for you. Buying a new vehicle. So there is some terminology that we need to understand before we dive into this too much. Just is really important to make sure that we are on the same track, because buying a new vehicle will be really daunting, and it's like dealerships talk a different language. So this is on page 29 of your aisle booklet. So the first is the manufacturer's suggested retail price, which can be shortened formed to MSRP. So this is the starting point for the price of the new vehicle. This is what the manufacturer, the person who makes, or the company that makes the vehicle, suggests that they should sell it for. It's only suggestion, and you can totally negotiate a price lower if that's something that you are good and comfortable at. I am not, but some folks are. It is not the base price that is what was needed to manufacture the vehicle and pay all the workers and everybody who was involved in it. It is the retail price. So that is always, so cars is a place where this is negotiable. Then there's a freight charge, which is a charge paid to transport the vehicle from the manufacturer to the dealership. There is an tire and air tax. So this is an environmental tax for the disposal of its tires and the air conditioner cleanup when the vehicle is no longer usable. There's a gas tax. So this is a charge on vehicles with larger engines because they're not as fuel efficient, and so they use up more gas and contribute more to the climate crisis. There's administration fees, which is a charge to do all the paperwork and calculations in the transaction. And there's a gas fee, which is a charge for supplying gas with the vehicle to drive off the lot. They don't just give you that, they make you pay for it. Then there is a license plate fee, which is a charge for the new license plate. This you can also arrange yourself, but they will do it for you. There's a lien payout. So if you owe money on a vehicle that you're using for a trade-in, then the lien payout is the money that you still owe. A deal review is a record of all the costs and financial arrangements involved in purchasing. The manufacturer's rebate, MFG, is money returned to the buyer by the manufacturer when the vehicle is bought. So often you see in commercials, it's like, buy a vehicle and we'll give you $500. That could be a manufacturer's rebate. The depreciation is the amount of the value of the car that goes down each year. So every year the car is not worth as much, and this is the depreciation, how much it depreciates. Okay, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of buying a new vehicle? Advantages are that it's brand new, shiny. That could be something that's really important to you. There are various features you can choose from. If you are getting a brand new car, you can design it almost and they can get that to you. The disadvantages are that it's expensive. It is the most expensive way of getting a vehicle is buying a brand new one. And there are additional costs. There's the freight, the delivery charges, the registration, licensing fees. All of this is part of buying a new vehicle. So you want to do your research and decide what is best for you. There is not one right way to do this. This you decide is a personal, individual, situational thing. What might be good for you at one period of time might not be good for you at another period of time. So look into that, decide what's best for you and your household. So how much will your payments be? This is on page 30 of your iBooklet, how to figure this out. So we're using the loan payment formula that we've used before. So this is an application of that loan payment formula. So again, remember, you don't have to memorize this. You just need to know when to use it. So this is R equals PV times I divided by 1 minus 1 plus I to the exponent negative n, where PV is the amount that is being financed. So we meant all the cost of purchasing the vehicle. Your R is your regular payment, which is what we're trying to figure out. Your I is your interest rate, expressed as a decimal, divided by your compounding period. Your N is your number of payments that you make. So it's the number of payments per year times the number of years. Okay, so let's look at an example. The cost of buying a new vehicle. Let's go along with Kenny and find this for how much it's going to be. So Kenny's considered trading in his 15-year-old car to buy a brand new vehicle that is 18% off. The MSRP, so remember that suggested retail price of this new car is $26,500, plus he would choose an option package that costs $1,750. There's a freight charge of $695. The dealer is willing to give him a trade-in allowance of $1,200 on his old car. All prices are subject to HST. He plans to finance the total purchase price over 6 years at a rate of 8% compounded monthly. So again, these are the sort of situations where there is a lot of information and it can be overwhelming. So break it up in terms of what you know, what you don't know, and work through what you need to find. So part A is calculating the total cost. So our total cost is going to be the purchase price plus the options plus the fees. Take away any discounts, take away the trade-in amount, and then adding the HST at the end. So the discounts amount, how do we figure that out? So we're going to do the price times 18%, because that's how much we're going to take away. So $26,500 times 0.18 is equal to $4,770. So we're going to subtract that away as we go. So we put in all of our values. We have $26,500 is our purchase price. $1,750 is our options package. $695 is our rate charge. Then we're subtracting the discount that we figured out, $4,770. We're subtracting the trade-in amount, so the one we're going to get for the old car, which is $1,200. And then we're still going to add the HST, but we need to figure out what we're adding the HST to first. So to calculate the tax, the HST, we're going to combine all that we just did, and we get $27,745 times 0.13, which is $3,606.85. So then we're going to add the $27,745 plus $3,606.85. And then we get the total cost of buying this new vehicle is $31,351.85. Okay, so then the second part is calculate the monthly payments and the total interest paid. So remember, Kenny plans on financing the total price over 6 years at a rate of 8% compounded monthly. So the monthly payments, we use the monthly payment formula. We know that our total purchase price, we figured that out in part A, is $31,351.85. We know that our interest rate is 8%, so 0.08 divided by 12, because it's compounded monthly. We know that we're making monthly payments for 6 years, so it's 6 times 12, which is 72 payments. So we put all of that into our formula. And then we solve that to find that our payment is $549.74 is your monthly payment, or is Kenny's monthly payment for this vehicle. Then the total interest paid is going to be the number of payments times each payment. So they figured out our payment amount was $549.74 times 72 payments. So that is $39,581.28. That's how much Kenny pays in total for this vehicle over the 6 years. To find the interest, we do our total paid, take away the total cost. So $39,581.28, take away $31,351.85, and we get $8,229.43, which is how much Kenny pays just in interest. Sometimes it's depressing to figure that out, because then you realize how much more you're paying just because you need to borrow money, because we live in a world where most of us cannot afford to just buy a vehicle outright. We don't have $31,000 just lying around waiting. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is a deal review. This is on page 32 of your booklet. Now, if you, again, have a pre-2021 booklet, then the formatting, again, is completely messed up and really confusing looking. When I first looked at it, I did not have a clue what was going on. And it took me a while to figure out what it is that they were trying to explain. The formatting was just awful. So I have redone that. And if you have a booklet where that is messed up, let me know, and I'm happy to send you even just the pages that would replace those pages. You don't need a whole new booklet. The information is the same, but it's just that I actually fixed the formatting. You can also just follow along with what I am doing on the screen and make your own chart, whatever works best for you. So a deal review covers all sorts of different information. It gathers all sorts of different information and then tracks it so that you add and subtract different things. So you get that final amount financed and then that monthly payment. So this is what the dealership will show you so that you can see all the information. So let's fill out a deal review together to track all this and how it might work. So Jorge is ready to purchase a compact car with an MSRP of $18,375. He negotiates a discount of $2,400. The following additional costs need to be included in the delivery price: $850 freight charge, $100 tire and air tax, $75 gas tax, a $70 administration fee, a $70 license plate fee, and a $25 gas fee. Jorge makes a down payment of $4,000 and finances the rest through the dealership at 4.9% compounded monthly for 48 months. He pays a $54 fee to arrange the financing. Complete a deal review. So we have our chart. This is what we're doing. Completing a deal review is filling out our chart, putting all the numbers in the right place and adding and subtracting them as we need to. So first, the MSRP, the list price, is $18,375. Right now, we're just filling in the blanks as we go. They might not be in the order, but they might be. Then we're going to have a discount. So credits and discounts are negative because we're subtracting them off. So this is negative $2,400. So the purchase price is going to be our list price, take away our discounts. So $18,375, take away $2,400, which is $15,975 is what we put in the purchase price box. Then we have our freight, which was $850, our tire and air tax, which is $100, our gas tax, which is $75, our administration fee, which was $70, and our trade-in allowance, which we didn't have a trade-in allowance, so it's not applicable. So it's just blank or zero. So our taxable total is our purchase price plus the freight plus the air tax, or air tire tax plus the gas tax plus the administration fee, and then take away any trade-in allowance, which for this case we don't have. So we do all that, and we end up with $17,070 is our total taxable income. Sorry, not income, total taxable price. So then for the taxes, we take our total taxable and we multiply it by 13%. So $17,070 times 0.13 is $2,219.10. So that is our taxes that we have to pay, because the rest of these things don't have taxes on them. So our license plate fee was $70. Our gas fee was $25. Our lien payout, again, we didn't have a lien payout, so it's not applicable. So it's just blank or zero. Delivery price is now going to be our total taxable price less the taxes, plus the license plate fee, plus the gas fee, plus the lien payout, which is zero. So all of that is $19,384.10. Then if you have an MFG rebate, which we don't, a down payment, which is negative $4,000 because it's a credit, it's something that Jorge is paying. And the finance fee, which is $54. So the amount financed is our delivery price minus any rebates, minus the down payment, plus the financing fee, which is $15,438.10. Okay, so that's how we're organizing with the deal review. Now we need to figure out the monthly payment. So we know the interest rate is 0.049 divided by 12. We know the loan term is 48 months. It's already in months, so we do not need to change it into months. We don't need to do it times up by 12 or anything, because it's already telling us that it's 48 months is the total number of payments. So to figure out the monthly payment, we need to do some more work. I'm going to give us a new slide to give us some space to figure it out. So we're still using the monthly payment formula, the same one, loan payment we've been using. Our PV, our total amount that we're financing, is $15,438.10. Our interest is 0.049 divided by 12. And our N, our number of payments, is 48. So put those into our formula and calculate it out, and we get our monthly payment is $354.83. So then we can go back and put that into our monthly payment spot in our deal review. And that's how you complete a deal review. So there's a bunch of steps, but you just need to go through it slowly and make sure that you're filling it out as it comes. You can now do the support questions on page 32, questions 1 through 3. That was buying a new vehicle. Now let's look at buying a used vehicle. So the advantages and disadvantages of buying a used vehicle is on page 33 of your IL booklet. So the advantages of buying a used vehicle is that it's cheaper. There's no freight, no air and tire tax, no gas tax. That's already all been paid by the person who bought it or the company that bought it when it was new. The disadvantages are that it's worth less because the depreciation in value, which happens mostly in the first year. That could be advantages or disadvantages depending on your perspective. It may need repairs and there's no choice options because it just is what it is. Again, you do your research and decide what is best for you and your situation and your household. There's not a right answer here. So let's calculate the resale value. This is what's key for looking at used vehicles, is figuring out the depreciation, how much the vehicle is for value now after it's depreciated. So our formula is V equals P times 1 minus R to the exponent N. So V is the resale value in dollars. That's what we're trying to find. P is the MSRP in dollars. So how much the list price originally was. R is the annual depreciation rate written as a decimal. And the annual depreciation rate isn't one thing for all vehicles. It depends on the vehicle what the depreciation rate is. N is the age of the car in years. So looking at example, how do we do this? Hazel wants to trade in her 4-year-old truck. The truck has an MSRP of $29,465. The average depreciation is 22%. Estimate the current resale value. So we use our V equals P times 1 minus R to the exponent N. RP is the $29,465. R is 22%, so 0.22. And it's 4 because it's a 4-year-old truck. Put those into our formula, and we get $10,906.49. That is the current resale value. That is what the vehicle is worth according to the depreciation rate. So about a third of the original price. And that's all you need to do for used vehicles. It's just lots of other stuff is similar, but understanding the depreciation is the key part for looking at used vehicles. So you could do the IL support questions on page 34, questions 4 through 6. And now we're going to look at vehicle costs, which is on page 34 of your IL booklet. So there are so many costs involved in owning and operating a vehicle. Yes, there's the initial buying a vehicle, but then there's a whole bunch of other stuff to think about too. So there are fixed costs. These are costs that do not change. They're like your insurance, your licensing, things that happen every month or every year that are always the same. Then there are variable costs. So these are costs that fluctuate, that change, that you don't know how often they're going to happen or how much they're going to be. So like gas, any repairs and maintenance. So the first thing that we're going to look at is calculating fuel costs, because how much you spend on gas has a big impact on your budget. So there's a couple of things that we need to think about when we're calculating fuel costs. First, we need to determine, so with this example, it says determine the cost to drive 24,690 kilometers at a fuel consumption rate of 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers, with the average cost of fuel being $1.65 per liter. So there's a couple of things going on. We need to figure out how much fuel we use. based on how far we're driving and the fuel consumption rate. So again, each vehicle has a different fuel consumption rate depending on the size of the engine, the size of the vehicle, the type of the vehicle. This is all, so the fuel consumption rate tells you how much fuel you use in 100 kilometers. So that is what you use to figure out how much fuel you're going to use in total. And then you take that number and you multiply it by the cost of the fuel to figure out how much it actually costs to use that fuel. So we need to do 2 steps. The first step is we need to figure out how much fuel is consumed. The second step is we need to figure out how much the fuel that we consumed is costs. So to figure out how much the fuel is consumed, we do our total kilometers times fuel consumption rate. So 24,690 kilometers times 4.8 liters per 100 kilometers. So then we do that and we get 1,185 0.12 liters. That's how much fuel is consumed to drive that distance. So then to figure out how much that fuel costs, we do our fuel consumed times our average cost. So $1,185.12, or sorry, and 12 liters, it's all liters, 1,185.12 liters times $1.65 per liter is equal to $1,955.45 is the total cost of that fuel for that distance. Okay, so how does that help us with the rest of it? So another example, in the first 2 years that Madge owns her car, she drives 47,348 kilometers. She does maintenance on her vehicle according to the distance maintenance schedule. The fuel consumption rating of her car is 6.7 liters per 100 kilometers. That is information that they have to give you, or you have to look it up. That's not something that you just know. Each year she pays $785 for insurance and $74 in her license for her license plate. During those 2 years, she renewed her driver's license for $50. The average cost of fuel during the 2 years is $1.55 per liter. Determine Madge's average monthly operating cost during those 2 years. So how much should she budget in her budget every month so that she can cover her costs? So again, there is a chart that you can use to help organize this information. So first we're going to look at fuel costs. So we do what we just did. We figure out our kilometers traveled, 47,348 times our fuel consumption. So times 6.7 divided by 100 means that we get a total of 3,172.31 liters. We times that by $1.55 per liter, means that we spend $4,970.09 on average for those 2 years on gas. Then how much do we figure out the maintenance? So we're going to look first at lube, oil, and filter. So to understand this is that this is saying that every 5,000 kilometers, you need to do this maintenance, and it costs $29.95. So this column is telling us how many times do we need to do that. So we figure that out by doing our total number of kilometers divided by the frequency kilometers. So 47,348 kilometers divided by 5,000 kilometers means that we need to do it 9 times in that period of time. So then the cost, oh, sorry, no, we're just gonna do all the times first, my bad. So the tire and rotation brake inspection happens every 10,000. So that means we need to do it 4 times in the 2 years. Wheel alignment happens every 25,000. So we do it once. Cooling system happens every 50,000. So we do it 0 times. We haven't got to 50,000 kilometers yet. Tune up and emission happens every 50,000. Again, 0 times. We don't need to do it. We haven't got that far yet. And automatic transmission happens every 85,000. We haven't got that far yet. So we don't do it at all. So then our costs are our number of times the cost. So for lube, oil, and filter, 9 times 29.95 is $269.55. The tire rotation brake inspection is 4 times in that time period, times 41.50. So that's $166. Wheel alignment is 1 times 69.75. So that's 69.75. And then the other 3 are times 0 because it never happened. So they are all 0. So then we can add them together to get our subtotal, which is $505.30. And then we times it by 13% to find the HST, which ends up being $65.69. So our total for maintenance costs is $5,799 for those 2 years. So then we continue and we have our insurance totals and our licensing totals. So our insurance per year is $785, and we're doing it for 2 years. So we times that by 2. The tax of that, we times it by 0.13, and then we add that tax to the amount. So we end up, our total insurance costs were $1,774.10. Sorry. Then our license plate fee was $74, again, for every year. So it's for 2 years. So that's $74 times 2, plus our license renewal, which was $50. So our license total was $148 plus $50, which is $198. So our total costs are going to be our fuel plus our maintenance total, plus our insurance total, plus our license total, which are all those totals that we've calculated together. So a total of $7,460.18 is our total cost for those 2 years. So our average monthly cost, we're going to divide that number by 24 because there's 2 years, 12 months per year, which is $310.84. So if Madge budgets for $310.84, or maybe a little bit more than that, just emergency case, then she's going to be able to cover her costs. Some months it's going to be more than others, but she's going to be able to cover her costs for the whole time for those 2 years. Now you can do the support question on page 36, questions 7 and 8. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of practice before we wrap up for today. So number 1, we're going to determine the resale cost of a 3-year-old vehicle with an MSRP of $31,594 and an annual depreciation rate of 18%. So again, remember our formula is V equals P times 1 minus R, the exponent N. And remember that my writing is not beautiful today. It's never beautiful, but it's even worse than usual. So our P is 31,594. Our R is 0.18 for 18%. And our N is 3 because it's a 3-year-old vehicle. So we're going to put those into our formula. And then we're going to put them into our calculator. I'm not going to write out the extra steps just because my writing is not awesome today. So 31,594 times 1, take away 0.18 to the exponent 3 is equal to $17,419.92. 17,419.92. So that is what the resale value of the vehicle is after 3 years. Number 2, determine the cost of driving 18,000 kilometers at the fuel consumption rating of 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers, an average cost of fuel being $1.38 per liter. Okay, so for these ones, remember we need to do twice. So we need to do our consumption. So how much fuel we're going to use. So we do our 18,000, our total distance, 18,000 times our consumption rating, our fuel consumption rating, which is 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers. So that equals, again on our calculator, so 18,000 times 7.3 divided by 100 is equal to 1,314. So then the cost is 1,314 liters times $1.34 per liter. So that equals $1,813.32. So that's how much it would cost. To pay for all that fuel that you use to drive 18,000 kilometers. All right, we don't have time to do that last one, but it was just a payment question, which we've had some practice with. So let's quickly consolidate all that we've learned today. So we talked about buying a new vehicle and how you calculate a monthly payment using the loan payment formula that we talked about before. We walked through completing a deal review. Then we talked about buying a used vehicle and how to calculate the resale value, which was the depreciation rate, which was V equals P times 1 minus R to the exponent N. And then we walked through doing the costs of owning a vehicle. So we calculate fuel costs. And we calculated monthly cost averages looking at fuel, maintenance, insurance, and licensing costs. So hopefully now you can calculate all the costs involved in buying a new vehicle, as well as calculating the fixed and variable costs of owning and operating any sort of vehicle. If you have any questions or concerns, please always contact me. I'm here to support you however I can. Give me a call at the office at 807-737-1488, extension 2209, or toll free at 1-800-667-3703. My email address is bronwyn.slate@nnec.owen.ca. And my Facebook is bslate Wahsa. Connect with me through YouTube at bslate Wahsa as well. Remember, there's a playlist called MBF3C, which has all of our information and review there for you to check out at your own convenience. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely day. Which